Welcome to another video. As you can see, I've got the lights installed in the garage. We have a lot of light in here. Now I'm going to bring the truck in. I know I keep calling it a car sometimes I call it a truck. Deal with it. Little helper here, Maya. Say hi, Maya. She has 9 stickers today, right?
And one's on my leg.
And one's on her leg. She's doing great. 9 stickers. She's rocking it. Okay, so let's quickly go over what's needed to do this. A driver with a number 2 Phillips head bit, an assortment of extensions. You can use 3/8. I chose to use 1/4 inch for all of the number 7s. I had a 1/2 inch already on the bench, so I just threw a 3/8 inch adapter and used my 3/8 inch long extension and a number 15. And the only thing that's for is lowering the column, the 2 bolts that are underneath that. So mine's a 1992 C1500. Yours may be slightly different, but they're all pretty similar as far as it goes. I'm going to remove the dash without taking the column out. Remove the 2 nuts underneath it so I can get a little play. That way I can tilt it forward and also be able to take the gauge pod out. 90% is going to be number 7 screws like that. So a number 7 and multiple extensions will take care of those. This one makes it easy to get everything from the depth when going through here, so you don't have to bust your knuckles up in there. You're going to need a T20 to remove this housing here. And you may need to pry a few things loose, so a flathead screwdriver and also a pair of needle nose pliers to squeeze the little clip here under this wire retaining clip that's holding on to the wires behind the dash. So that made it simple. I just took out one side and it allowed me to slide it out, and you'll see that in the video doing it. But this is just a quick and dirty for those who just want the basic info, who can just jump in there and pull their dash out. Holding the dash in, there's 2 nuts, one on each side here. And here, it's hard to see. You have 5 screws across the top, number 7s once again. You have 1 in each speaker pod. There's 1 here. And then you have the 3 that are here in your vent. So once those are removed, you'll actually be able to tilt your dash forward and pull it out, as long as all of this has already been done. Maya, how many bolts are holding in the top?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, if the kid can do it, you can do it. The goal is to get all your wiring harnesses disconnected, labeled, and pushed back inside the dash. So the first thing to pull out is going to be your radio. Once you've pulled your radio out, you'll have access to this 1 screw here, which is holding your glove box front on. Once you've removed this screw, you can pull your glove box out and disconnect these 2 little straps. Once you've pulled the glove box door off, then you can get to these 2 screws over here and pull the AC vent off. Then you're going to unscrew the 4 screws here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to be able to pull the back of the glove box off. Then if you still have it, the cup holder here is held on by 2 screws underneath here, 1 and 2. Your ashtray is held on by 4 screws. You're going to open it up. There's a number 7, a number 7, a number 7, a number 7. All of the dash is held on by number 7, just about. Then we're going to take the gauge, or the cluster gauge. Then we're going to take the gauge pod off. That's going to be T20, the Torx heads. There's going to be 4 of them, and that's going to allow the front to loosen up. To get that out, you're going to need to take the 2 bolts, which are number 15, off of the bottom of the column, and you'll be able to push this column off. Make sure you have chocks under your tires or your foot on the brakes, because when you push this down, When you push this down, your shifter will go into neutral and your car will slide if you're on a hill. So make note of that. After that, you're going to disconnect the 2 number 7s for your hood latch over here. Disconnect the 2 number 7s for your hood latch over here. You're going to leave the parking brake on until you pull the dash forward, and you'll take the parking brake off from the back. Once you've taken the nuts off of the column, you're going to push the column down slightly. Here, you'll then have access to this AC vent. You'll have access to your gauge pod, and you'll have access to your radio and your pocket or whatever you have in this area, depending upon who's been in your truck. To get those out are pretty simple. You've got a couple number 7s here, 4 if it's original, and these 2 pieces will come out. You'll have 1 clip on the back of the air conditioning. To get the gauges out, they just pull right out. This is the snap-in connections for it. To get the AC vent out, there's 2 screws here, and you can just pull that AC vent out. Once you've pulled forward the cluster, you're gonna have to flip it to the right side because there's a small metal loop here that goes into the bottom of it. So when you move the column, it pulls a spring that tells you when you're in reverse, neutral, park, etc. And you're gonna have to just slip this off of the clip. Then you can get over to this side and you'll be able to unsnap your lighting. You'll be able to, actually, before you take your gauge cluster off, you're gonna need to remove the whole front bezel, or at least tilt it to the side by shifting this down. You're gonna need to shift the column down to pull the front bezel forward before you get to your gauge cluster, and that's so you can undo your headlights. So these are snap in. I used a flathead screwdriver. This one pushes in. The flathead screwdriver, you just slip it underneath these 2 little pieces and you can pop them right out. Label as you go. There's also 1 screw holding the AC vent in the center to the back of the glove box arm here. Alright, so now I'm going to shove all these wires in the back here because the dash is going to come forward. Just tuck it up so it doesn't get snagged on anything. In addition to the 2 size 15 nuts underneath the column to drop it down, you're going to have 2 number 13s on the arm in each corner that's holding this dash down to the sides here. Let me quickly pop those out. Go. There's 1. And now we got 1 more on this side over here. Alright. Now the dash is completely loose. Let me just ow. Thank you, Maya. I know, lovey. Okay, I just wanted to show you really quick where those bolts are. Okay, on each side here, there will be 1 13-inch bolt right up here in the corner, up under the dash. Hey, Maya. And there will also be 1 on that side up under the dash in the same exact place. Moved those 2 bolts along with the 6 up front and the 1 number 7 bolt holding this vent to the dash. As you can see, my dash is completely loose. So now I'm going to go get my son so he can help me bring this out. I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, I've already tilted the dash forward. There's going to be a metal plate that's directly underneath where your radio goes, and you're going to have to take your cables and pull them from underneath the metal plate and push them backwards. Raceway that runs from the center of the glove box all the way across to where the radio sits, and you're going to have to unsnap this from the back of here. The other option is to open the raceway and pull all the wires out. I found it easier just to take the long extension and declip the little brass clips holding it to the dash. Once this is off, it's going to be a lot easier. On the back of right here, if you reach your hand around the back, it'll be directly behind here. As I tilt the dash forward, I'm going to disconnect that. That screw is going to be holding your wire harness from the back to behind where your gauges go. So make sure you pull all of your wires behind the dash, because once you start pulling it forward, these sharp bits of metal are going to cut into your wire. Tilt it this way a little bit so I can get behind here. Thanks. There are two 10mm bolts that are here. Come around this side. There's two 10mm bolts here and here that are holding your wire harness. So we're going to take those off now. Okay. That frees up that part. All right, the glove box light, the best way to get to it is with a screwdriver. You're going to shove it underneath the metal clips and lift upwards, and it'll pop out. Same thing on the bottom. Shove it underneath the clips. These little clips right here are what are holding it into here, and we're going to need to reuse that. So this little clip here, I'm just going to stick that right back on here. And we'll keep moving on down the line. Next is going to be the wire harness that's holding the clip for the back of your gauges. You're going to pop that off of here. It's two clips up on top. Pop them off with a flathead. The gauge cluster clip out, you're going to push in on both sides. So push in one side and push it in. Pressure on it and push the other side in. Once you've pulled this forward, like so, you're going to turn it sideways and push it back through the hole. You'll notice a slot right in the middle. If you can see here, it's bigger on the bottom and on the top right in the middle. You want to line those up with the top ridge and the bottom ridge. If your dash isn't just broken, like mine, you can do that. But we got to take out our fuse block here. Got it? Yeah. So the fuse block here just clips out like that. Just snap it in with the two little clips, and there's all the fuses. We're going to keep moving. We've got our service port right here that we're going to have to take out. Should have actually taken this out earlier, but that's number 7s. Alex, hand me that wrench, please. So these are all number 7s, just like above. All right. Now we've got one ground wire here. And one ground wire here. This is actually an add-on ground wire. This is just somebody screwed it in here. It's using for the lights underneath the car. So with a pair of channel locks, you're going to pinch the two little clips on the side of the parking release and pull it forward. Put it back now. Down here. Out of the clip for the pedal, you're going to slip it up and over, and then you're going to push this piece here, the cable out. And there's your parking brake. All right, now we're going to remove the dash caliper. He's going to come right through the car here. Try not to scratch any of the black paint. We're going to put this right down here on the floor. The dash has been removed from the vehicle. I'm going to have to take off some of the billet trim and these excess pieces here, which are going on the new dash. That switch mount I'm not worried about. I put all my screws back in their holders, so that way I can just switch them right over to the other dash. Okay, now that the dash has been removed and I've cleaned up a little bit in here, I'm going to be doing some rewiring. I'm going to clean up some of the mess that's in here. I'm going to remove the antenna wire here because I don't use an antenna. I actually have my antenna shaved. I run everything through my cell phone through Bluetooth, so that's unimportant to me. I'm going to be changing out the little box here, which is the control for the door solenoids, the shaved door handle kit. I don't like the way that this was done, so I'm going to redo that. I'm going to mount 2 relays underneath the dash over here, and those will control the doors instead of having the relays in there like we talked about. I should have time in the next few days to go through and clean this stuff up, pop the door handles off, and fix any wiring that I need to while I'm in here. Okay, that's going to do it for today's video. The dash has been removed. I'm going to work on painting the new dash and getting the existing pieces that are still good fitted onto the new dash so I can get that reinstalled. So, let me give you an outro. Come on.
That's gonna do for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Click on the links above to see my daddy's other videos. Bye again.
Perfect.
Click on the links above to see my other dad's videos.
No, not your other dad. Your How about click on the links above to see all my dad.